I don't know, emotionally connected to the last video of the Latvian sports team, the ice hockey team? Raise hands, raise hands. If you did, it's a good thing. If you didn't, it's okay. I'll speak to you guys about that later. My job is one of the most fun jobs on the planet for me. I get to follow what I like to do, which is I get to meet with amazing people. I get to listen to everyone's amazing stories. And I get to connect those stories with audiences. Whether it's a game, whether it's a music festival, whether it's an event, doesn't matter. How many of you have been to a sports event the last 6 months? Not bad, very good. How many of you have actually attended or sponsored an event, a sports event in the last 1 year? Very nice. For those who haven't, it's an amazing opportunity to learn from the best. For those who have, I want to hear your experiences. This is going to be a two-way communication, guys. So I will not be the only one speaking. I'll be asking questions as well. Why do companies sponsor? They enjoy the idea that sports is a religion. Yeah? If you're in Latvia, if you're in Finland, if you're in Slovakia, regardless of the space, if you're in Canada, I grew up watching Canadian ice hockey. It was a religion. It was a nation's pride. It was the pride of the people who followed the game. It was a lifestyle. If you, as a parent, is following any particular sport, it doesn't matter if it's hockey, it doesn't matter if it's soccer, tennis, whatever, your children will grow up to follow the same thing. If you are someone who takes pride in their national team or in their league, you will follow the same thing. I enjoyed the story from Bob, who was talking about him being this coach, making a difference. That's the exact same thing every fan does to their athletes or to the teams that they follow. That energy that comes from fans erupting in roar or booing the opposite team, that is something that pushes teams forward. And that's what sports marketing is all about. I told you, I'm someone who follows my passion. I enjoy watching people play. I enjoy watching people experience the play. I enjoy seeing from the back as well as from the front how coaches react. So in the past 17 years, my job has been literally to go through all these different events. Doesn't matter whether it's a Guinness World Record, doesn't make a difference if it is a sports event. The preparation for it, the mental attitude for it, the heart you put into it is literally the same. What differs is, of course, the type of people you engage with. And that's what sports marketing is about, guys. This was one of my best events till date. It happened 10 years ago and I still remember every second of it. It was the first time I was thrown into the opportunity of seeing 1 million people walk through the gates. The tension of operations behind 1 million people walking through the gates, and you're going, please nothing bad happen, please nothing bad happen. People are going through different areas in the event. Your team is going, Steve, can you be on standby at every single point in time for 8 hours straight? That is the amazing essence of events. You look at it from the point of view of, these are my fans. They've come here to experience what I've put together. I'm the coach in this scenario. Not as good as Bob, but I'm still the coach. And yes, it's about how do you manage the ups and downs. We'll go into that a bit more as we get into this presentation. So, why do companies sponsor events? They enjoy the idea of awareness. It's a great opportunity for brand building. It's about connecting not just with the audience, but with the community. If you are a local company that's hitting, let's say, or I say hitting, that's a marketing term. If you're interested in engaging local audiences in your community, or if you want to expand that to the rest of Latvia or to the neighboring regions, it's a great way. Sports, it's a religion. It's a point of pride. If you're launching products, I just met with a lovely gentleman called Ego today, who told me he's got this new game he's coming up with. It's a great place to actually have a good product launch. Activation events. It's about engaging with the community through different texts, showing your innovation, showing your ideas, your creativity. By the way, who creates innovation? Open question, guys. Who creates innovation? Who's responsible for innovation? Anyone can answer, it's okay.
Customers.
Customers, very good, that's right. Innovation is because there's a need from the customers. Bob is here because the Latvian Hockey Federation wanted an amazing coach like himself. The Latvian Hockey Federation wanted to improve the state of play, wanted to improve the presence of the Latvian hockey team, right? And the leagues that follow with it. You can have these presentations. I'm just putting out ideas here, but everything you do right now, whether it's sports marketing, whether it is event marketing, sports sponsorship, whether it is supporting a team as a fan or as a company, it's always about the consumer. It's always about the people you serve. If it becomes about the business of serving, you lose the essence of why you started in the first place. Business is important. I'm not saying make money. I'm not saying don't make money. I'm just saying don't put that in forefront and use that as the way to connect with your consumers. So how do brands stand out? Storytelling. Content marketing has been a huge word that's been thrown around for the past 5 to 10 years. Yes, but you can have a number of blogs, you can have a number of videos out there, but unless that message is consistent across the board, exactly like what Bob said. Sorry, I do apologize, I cannot connect with Vierster's presentation because language barrier and all. Yes, but think about it. Your message is the same to all your consumers about you wanting to serve them, right? About what your brand stands for. So that's what storytelling is about. It doesn't matter whichever channel you use, whether you're using YouTube, whether you're using a long form or short form text, whether it's a social media post or a pic. It all speaks towards the, oh, so sorry, that's me. It all speaks towards the storytelling. It's about the experience you're creating. It's about the tangible and intangible experiences, the emotions that come with every video you put out there or every post you put out there. Are you talking to your audience about, okay, great, I want to invoke the experience or the emotion of love, of wanting to support my team. Oh, we had a horrible loss, but that's okay because it's just the stepping stone to the next one. That's all what your brand should be communicating with your consumers to get them involved. Airbnb, simple company, right? Their brand message was, we give you unique experiences when you stay with us. So what they do, this is in Brazil, by the way. I will take out a few examples from soccer or football, just because that's the one sport I've been more involved with, and a lot more activations happening there. But I'm hoping this will be the case in hockey as well, in ice hockey as well. So what Airbnb did was they said, okay, your Airbnb users, we'll give you the choice. You can have your best stay right in front of the game. So they created an experience zone where some of their consumers, their customers, could actually view the game as if they were the VIPs, the box. There are many reasons you can't get to a game. It's expensive, you've got commitments, you've got work to do. But these companies said, okay, that's an opportunity. Let's get people there through the version of VR. Let's give, if you close your eyes for 2.5 hours, as that as the balloon was going up into space, everyone was like, what the hell is going to happen? Is he going to reach? First. Second, as he jumped out, as he hit Earth's atmosphere, he turned. You could hear his breathing, you could hear a panic. NASA was going, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, come on, you can do it, you can turn. But for that 2.5 minutes where he was shuttling down, hurtling through space, everyone was glued to Twitter. Everyone wanted to know, what the hell? Is he going to go down? That's the emotion, that's the experience they created with Red Bull. It wasn't about the numbers, it wasn't about Red Bull. It was about him and his feet. That was the story. So how do you begin? How do you begin sports marketing? Most of you have already done this. So these are my kind of partners. When I start putting an event together, I start looking at who are my supporting partners. Yeah? I normally suggest agencies because they have been in the business long enough. They've been doing a lot more creative things. You've got a good team, use them, partner them up with good agencies. You need technology, guys. You can be, I've had so many conversations with people saying, oh, well, we don't have the money for technology. Technology is not expensive. In fact, it will be cheaper if you use good technology. You spend a lot more money, man hours, and hardly wasted time and effort to putting something like an omnichannel experience, customer journeys, by doing it yourself. So invest in technology. You want to make it faster, you want to make it easier for your customers, for your audience, to see the text, the content you're putting out there. Organizers, work with the organizers. The worst thing you can do is sponsor an event and do nothing with the sponsors. Don't ask them questions. Ask them questions. I don't have the budget for, let's say, being a premium sponsor, but that's okay. What budget do you have? What kind of packages do you have? What kind of small add-ons can I get for free? Can I get free tickets? Be shameless. I'm shameless when I sponsor an event. I want to do as much as I can to make every experience with my event amazing for my customers. Brand partners. Now, Latvia is an amazing country. I've had a few conversations here. I believe a lot of you know each other. It's 800,000 people in Riga, 2 million people across Latvia. And if you go north-south, you've got another few millions on this and that side. You can connect, collaborate with brands that match your same values, that match your expectations. If you are, sorry, give me a name, give me a name of a company here. Don't give me airBaltic, give me someone else. we all know airBaltics, but give me a different name.
Skoda.
Skoda. Latvian, that's right.
No,
they are one of the partners of the LHF. Okay, Skoda, yes. Get another company in retail, in fashion, and connect them with Skoda. They can do so much better when they're working together. A much better experience for the people who are supporting your teams. Working with brand partners is always a good thing because it doesn't just give you your audience, it gives you another set of audience who do not connect with you at that level. So you're always winning. Question here, how many of you know the Thank You Mom campaigns by Unilever? A few? Yeah, okay. They started this, in 2010, so it's about 9 years now. They've been winning, I say Unilever, P&G, sorry. They've been winning awards for this every single year because why? P&G wants to support women. They want to highlight the fact that every woman, regardless of who they are, where they are from, what they believe in, regardless, is beautiful, is special, and needs to be nurtured, needs to be supported. Yeah? This was one of the best ads that I liked. It touched me in a way because it was a lot more for my sister. Yeah? But I'm a guy. It didn't have to bother me, but it did. This was beautiful in how it was played. Watch this, I'm going to ask you a question afterwards.
Ooh, child, things are gonna get easier. Ooh, child, things are getting brighter. Ooh, child, things are gonna get easier.
And it's the one video that does not get the skip ad button on YouTube. People actually watch it multiple number of times. So that is what you should be doing when you are sponsoring an event, is how are you supporting a community? How are you supporting your audience? How are you supporting the teams, your country? It doesn't matter. When you put yourself in front and say, I want to support an event, which is like a religion, which is the pride of a nation, that's exactly what you're doing. You're donning that responsibility as well. So, this is what I do for every event. This is my science for my events. I take 20% of my time. I give myself, if it's a big event, I take about a year. If it's a smaller event, I take about 6 months. With something like the Ice Hockey Federation Championships in Latvia, I would suggest take a year, because that year will disappear like that. You take 20% of the time to search, recruit the right kind of people who want to share that brand message. You want to take 20% of the time to negotiate, 10% of the time, sorry, to negotiate good packages, to see what you can do, how much money you have to spend, what is the extra budgets you have for extra spends closer to the event. You want to take another 20% of the time planning out every single major campaign, not the small ones. Those are very ad hoc. Those are ones that happen reactionary. But 20% of the time, you should be focusing on what is my plan, my game plan going to be. Yeah? 50% of your time needs to be in execution. You've got to be on the spot. Did you watch the news on Instagram this morning? Do you know what happened with Instagram this morning? My job is to know this all the time. There were about 17 cases of kids, young kids below the age of 18, who committed suicide. Instagram has to review its policies on what kind of ads go on. So as an event marketer, as a sports marketer, that affects me. So I need to be in my execution phase, realize, have I planned for it or not? If I haven't, I need to think about it. And that happened this morning. Huge news. If your event is today, and you've got campaigns supposed to go out on Instagram today, especially if it's targeting young people, those ads might just get cancelled. They might send the wrong message. All of these things matter. How are you as a brand communicating, messaging about it all the time? That's your execution. So you need to have a great team for that. Without it, it is unfortunate, but lots of companies, regardless of how big they are, they do fail. Negotiation, right. That's the part I love the most. I'm an Indian. I bargain for everything. It's a given. It's that God-given nature in me that if someone told me this is 10,000 euros, no, we can get it for 2,000. Come on. You know it's me. Come on. Be shameless for asking for free tickets. Ask for options. There's always an option, but negotiate your prices. I don't know. Do you have Deichmann in Latvia? No. Okay. Sorry. I will bring out this particular experience in a short bit. Let's hold that for a time being. But all these companies, whether it's Levi's, whether it is Deichmann, whether it's DHL, when they go to events, it's not just about, oh, let's get the biggest package out there. They ask for, how much space do you have near your stadiums? How much space do you have in your stadiums? How much space can I get in some of your biggest matches? I want to create experience zones. Everybody knows about Heineken's experience bar, Heineken bar, right? The same things with DHL. You can order stuff inside the stadium, and as long as it's not explosives, they will bring it to you. Levi's, they have trendy design shops inside music festivals for people to design their own pants with world-renowned designers. Deichmann, does everyone have a mobile here? Everyone has a mobile here? I at least see someone's holding onto a mobile. What's the first thing you need with a mobile? Connectivity, Wi-Fi, 3G, 4G, doesn't matter. Deichmann gives just that at events. They call it their experience zone. You can come, relax, sit down, enjoy while being connected. Because of course, you know, when there's 50,000 people, 2,000 people in the same place, connectivity is horrible, it's slow, it's lagging. So you want connectivity. This is part of my negotiation as well. You don't always need to be a title sponsor, though it's nice to be. It gets a lot more attention. But as you all know, we all don't have the same kind of budgets. So you want to work with what you've got. Human ingenuity, creativity. Study packages that match your goals. Maybe you are a small retailer, and all you want to do is you want to get people to know about shopping at, what's a famous retail shop here? Somewhere you can do everyday groceries. There we go. I haven't been there yet, I need to. But yeah, match that to that. Execution, that's where I spend a lot more time. Because of course you want to make the most of what you're doing. This is the make it or break it phase. Remember I told you about the Instagram story just this morning? It's the make it or break it phase. Because if something wrong happens at the execution part, that's all the people see. They don't care about everything else. Had Felix Baumgartner fallen to his death on October 14, 2012, Red Bull would have had a PR disaster that they allowed something like this to happen. Right? Some of the unusual challenges that you find in your teams, and this is why you need to always communicate, is nobody wants to take ownership if something goes bad, but everyone wants to be the guy who says, I did it, yeah, it was me, it was a great success. So find owners for taking the good and the bad of whatever event you're sponsoring. Too many experts, nobody wants to do the work. That's one of the biggest things I've faced myself. I've done that myself many a times. I love to tell people, okay, you take this, you take that, you take that. Then I slow down and, I can relax. It's not true. You shouldn't be relaxing. You guys can read this, so yeah. Do you know the story behind this? Do you know Walkers, by the way? It's a UK chips, right? Okay. They had this amazing idea that they could do selfies. Yeah? And they would put these selfies in front of stadiums. They would put this on big buildings. They would put it on huge, giant screens. And they, of course, told, you know, if you are the one who gets selected, you are on that picture. You're on that picture with Gary Lineker, right? So what happened? People started sending their selfies. Great. People started sending selfies of mass murderers. People started sending selfies of corrupt politicians. And of course, the team behind it did not realize that this particular gentleman is a mass murderer. So his picture got put on huge buildings, right? Being reactionary, being able to execute, and being able to know what can go wrong. Yeah? By the way, do you have a policy where everyone's got to go through military service in Latvia? Not anymore, okay. I just came from Turkey, they have that, okay. A very good friend of mine. Yeah? I grew up with him, I studied with him. He joined the army service 20 years ago. For me that was a shock for all 7 years, and I was like, okay, you know what? He's a major now. In 20 years he's become a major. And I asked him, so you're now responsible for about 50 people to 100 people in your unit. Their lives, and it's not just, you know, a say, their lives literally depend on this guy's commands. His strategy, his plans. If he says go into this village or go into the mountains because there's a terrorist cell going there, he needs to be prepared on how he's sending his teams there. So I asked him, what do you do? How do you plan? As an event manager, I know how I plan my programs, but I want to get inspiration from someone whose literal lives were on the line. So he told me this, when we make a plan, we make 10,000 ways, minimum, of how that plan can go wrong. Imagine thinking of 10,000 different ways a particular program can go wrong. And they try to define all of them. They try to see different ways of all of them. Backup plans for backup plans. And that's how he sends his team. That's what we do with events as well. You have to think of the negatives. You have to think of what can go wrong. Because execution matters. That's the make it or break it phase. This is another lovely campaign. This was also put during another event. Dove has been doing this for about 15 years. What's wrong with this picture? Nothing is wrong with the picture. I love that. It can be true. It can be true. And again, it's not that it's wrong, but it sent the wrong message. Because what their campaign was about was that every woman in any shape, given size, is beautiful. They've been doing it for 15 years. It was amazing. However, this time they defined women's beauty by this is the shape you have to be in. And that gave you more body consciousness to the women that were involved. Women in the UK, women in the US, women in most parts of the world actually hated this campaign. Now, of course, I as a guy, when I looked at it, wow, cool shapes, right? This one looks for me like a detergent bottle, but it's amazing, it's a cream bottle. This one is just unique, it looks like a perfume bottle. I'm a guy, I'm not the target market, but for women, some of them, or most of them, do forgive me, I haven't spoken to many of them, but for women, it defined, this is what you want me to be. To be beautiful enough to use Dove. This is my shape, so you should use this. And that was wrong messaging. That went against the ideology of Women Are Beautiful campaigns that Dove had created. So it does do good to speak with agencies, to speak with experts in the field. I won't read this, but you can have this presentation later on my slide share. But this is my recipe for success. For me, this is what matters. Identify your stakeholders, identify your partners. Always ask when you're in doubt. I am no expert. 17 years, but I still don't believe I'm an expert. I still learn because human beings change every single day. Technology changes every single day. So if you've not sponsored an event in a year, you should definitely be speaking to those who have, because they have experiences to share. Make your campaigns about experience. Make your campaigns about your consumers, about the people, the community, because events are otherwise just events. They're just a great way to say, ha ha ha, you make no impact. That's me, guys. Thank you.
By the way, you know the origin of Levi's jeans?
Yes, actually.
Have you heard about what was his name? His name was Jacob Davis.
Didn't know the name, but yes.
He's from Latvia.
I did not know that.
He is Latvian Jewish who went to the United States and he started the company.
It was meant to be. I'm telling you, it was meant to be.
All right.